Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be reading a bit. I know it's always fun when John reads on camera. Also, I'm growing out my hair. I don't know what I'm doing with it. What do you think? I don't know. Usually I just wear hats. All right, so there was a recent change in YouTube's guidelines, really, about talking about eating disorders and disordered eating, and I had quite a few people actually message me, and they were like, what do you think about this? What do you think this is going to do to your content? So I figured we would go over this article from TechCrunch and kind of just talk about the changes that YouTube is going to make and if that's going to affect my content or other content creators that you might watch. Here's the article right here by Aisha Malik, and it says YouTube updates its policies on eating disorder content, and it will ban videos showing imitable behavior. Imitable? I think that's what that says. YouTube is updating its guidelines for dealing with eating disorder content on its platform. The Google-owned company announced on Tuesday, although the platform has long removed content that glorifies or promotes eating disorders, YouTube will... I can already tell that there are people who are going to be like, does it though? I guess it depends on what you considered an eating disorder or disordered eating. That's going to be for you to decide. But YouTube will also prohibit content about eating disorders that users could be prompted to imitate. Maybe that's what that imitable, like you can imitate it. Okay, I learned a new word today. Such behaviors could include purging after eating. I think that's definitely a good thing to not have on YouTube. Or severely restricting calories. Also, probably a good thing to not have on YouTube. But again, this one right here, that's easy, I think. Like as far as being like, oh, you did that on camera? Okay, yeah, that's not okay. But when we're talking about severely restricting calories, I think that there is a line. I mean, there's definitely like easy, I think like really easy, obvious ones. But again, I know that when people first saw this article and when they first saw this, they were like, the first thought that people had was Eugenia Cooney, right? And people were like thinking about her. But I'm curious if just because I don't really follow Eugenia very much, but I don't think she does like videos where she's like, this is what I'm eating or this is what I'm not eating. It's more just her life. She just is obviously very, 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 very thin, right? And so would that be enough for them to be like, okay, we're going to take her off the platform? I don't know. I really don't. But again, I do think that this is, you know, if someone's doing like a full day of eating, like a fitness influencer or something like that, and they are very, very low in calories, could they get in trouble for that? I don't know. That is interesting though. Okay. YouTube will also prohibit content that could lead at-risk users to imitate certain behaviors such as weight-based bullying in the context of eating disorders. So again, I think that this I guess could relate to me and the content that I make as far as, cause I do talk about people and their size. Obviously I hope I don't get like in trouble. I think that I do a pretty good job of I don't ever try to bully anyone on their size. Yeah, but I mean, I do think that if you are bullying someone and making fun of them because of their size, that is wrong. Do I think that you should be banned from YouTube? I don't really know. Again, this is one that's I'm kind of curious as to what that means, right? Because there's these words and there's like, this is what we're going to do, but what does it look like, right? Like what does that policy do in the real world? We don't know yet. YouTube also announced that videos that are centered on eating disorder recovery or include sufficient educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic context, EDSA, may receive an age restriction and or crisis resource panel. So the age restriction is huge for, especially if you're making content about trying to help others get out of an eating disorder and then your stuff gets age restricted, that can basically kill your channel. If like your entire channel, basically all the videos you make are now, they get age restricted, and that means that someone has to be signed into Google. They have to say that they're over 18 and then they're allowed to watch the video. That might not seem like a lot, but whenever there are more barriers to entry to watch a video, that video usually does not do well, right? And so it really is almost like a death blow. And so that is kind of disappointing to see, in my opinion. I think the crisis resource panel could be better if it's not age restricting and it's just saying, hey, if you have an issue, like, you know, reach out to these people. I do think that could be better for the creator because they're not getting penalized. but it's just my opinion. Content that contains EDSA or discusses disorder eating behaviors in the context of recovery may still not be suitable for all ages, YouTube says, which is why it's introducing age restrictions on certain content about eating disorders as a result of the updated policy. Some videos will not be available to viewers under 18 if you're signed in. Yeah, so that's what I was just talking about. So again, before we go any further, I know that a lot of people are going to be very, very curious about if this also applies to people that are obviously overeating on the platform. I mean, it seems that seems to be something that YouTube is not really concerned about too much. Funny enough, I actually wanted to share this. I didn't know how to talk about this, but this actually kind of works really well. So obviously one of the most popular people that eats a lot on camera is Nicocado. But if you haven't been following him very much, you'll actually know he's lost like almost 100 pounds. And this is what he's looking like now. So this is Nicocado now.
Blue bananas. These are blue bananas. If I get 50,000 likes on this video, I will open it up and show you the blue. Now, you guys know I lost 89 pounds on a keto diet. I only eat fats. This is too much sugar. But I will cheat for you if I get 50,000 likes.
And then this is another video right here of him, I don't know, dancing with talkies, I guess. I paused the audio, but as you can see, you can tell he's lost quite a bit of weight. Has Nicocado gotten like the information early and he knew? I don't know. I really don't know. I've always been like, I wouldn't be surprised if Nicocado was able to lose the weight, and like I wouldn't have been surprised. I've always felt like I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to lose the weight, because I've always felt like the whole Nicocado thing is more of an act than anything. And so, I mean, I wish him well. I hope that he loses the weight, but I just thought that was kind of cool. He's lost like close to 100 pounds. That's a big deal. But okay. Sorry. We developed this age restriction approach for eating disorder related videos in consultation with a third-party experts to strike the right balance in our continuing efforts to protect young viewers from content they may be more susceptible to imitating than adults. The company wrote in a blog post, as with our community guideline updates, these age restrictions will take some time to fully ramp up, but you may not see them right away. So I want to make it clear, like, YouTube already has something in place. I don't know exactly what it is, where you will get flagged and you will be demonetized if you talk enough about EDs. I've had multiple videos, especially the videos where I talk about binge eating frequently, and it's like in the title and thumbnail. Like, a lot of those videos are demonetized, and there's really nothing you could do about it. I've like tried to get them remonetized. It just doesn't happen. So this is already something that exists. So this might just be, it might just be even more intense. So it might just be like, if you want to talk about that kind of stuff, you really need to find another way to monetize that content through maybe like sponsors or something like that, because that's a huge deal. And there's a lot of people that a lot of the content they talk about is eating disorders, right? Because it's a huge thing for them, and them getting over it was really life-changing. And so I can understand wanting to make that content. And so I do feel kind of bad for the people that are making that content, that they might feel a little bit attacked here. Like, I can understand that. And like, I'm part of that, right? Like, luckily not all of my content is that, but that is certainly something that I talk about a lot because it's important. And yeah, it sucks that you kind of are you're almost getting like penalized for trying to help other people out of a crappy situation. And that kind of sucks. YouTube currently places crisis resource panels on the top of search results related to eating disorders in US, UK, India, Canada, Japan, Korea, Mexico, France, and Germany. Now the company is expanding crisis resource panels to also appear on watch pages in these countries. YouTube believes this change will allow it to reach an even broader audience with important context and mental health resources. The platform plans to launch these panels in even more countries in the future. The policy updates, developed in consultation with the National Eating Disorder Association and other nonprofit organizations, aim to ensure that YouTube creates space for community, recovery, and resources while continuing to protect viewers. The updated policy comes as social media platforms are facing increasing scrutiny for negatively impacting young users. I can understand that. In 2021, lawmakers questioned executives from YouTube, TikTok, and Snapchat about their platforms, how their platforms deal with eating disorder content. Although the companies testified that they each have policies prohibiting content that promotes eating disorders, Senator cited evidence from constituents about teenagers on these platforms who have still suffer from illnesses like anorexia and bulimia. There's definitely that kind of content. I don't know so much on YouTube, but like I've seen it on TikTok, like literally someone saying, I came across a TikTok where this young woman that was like how to make a dinner for under 40 calories. And it was very sad. It was basically just like lettuce and then like heating up the lettuce or something like that. And luckily, at least in the comments, a lot of people seem to be like, I hope you get help. Like, I'm really sorry that you're going through this. And it was clear if you looked at her profile, this was someone that struggled with, something. And it's something that I've seen on Instagram quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that should be worked on. But again, it is interesting that it seems to be just strictly focused on under eating, and it seems like overeating has, and I've always said this, like, of course they're going to avoid it because again, it's a very, very hard, like, where do you draw the line? If you say you're not allowed, like, is the line you're not allowed to eat anything on camera? Like, I really doubt that they would do that. Is the line if you're over a certain amount of weight, you can't eat anything on camera? I doubt that they do that. That would open up another can of worms. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. So like, I'm really curious, and it seems like they don't either because they've talked about this, and it's always about, the restrictive EDs and not the opposite of that, right? I don't know. Interesting. Okay, so during the hearing, YouTube executives pointed out how some users can find solace in a video about how someone overcame an eating disorder. I agree. And that this content can be uplifting and help teens know they're not alone in what they're experiencing. The company is now addressing concerns that although this type of content aims to be helpful, it can sometimes negatively impact users, hence the new age restrictions on certain content about eating disorders when it comes to recovery. Features announced today will be visible starting today and ramping up in the coming weeks. YouTube says these efforts are ongoing and will continue working toward ensuring the platform is a safe space for users. So that's everything. I kind of feel like I've said everything that I can really say. I am curious to see what it will look like. Do I think it is going to impact, like Amberlynn Reed or Nicocado or, these people that are the opposite of that, really, right? Just like people that are doing mukbangs or just eating a lot on camera, or where people, I don't think so. I really don't. I think that it seems like there are people that like hope that it will. I just don't see it. I really don't. I don't see YouTube kind of stepping in that sphere and trying to tackle that because I think, again, like I said, it's a huge can of worms. We've talked about it before. It seems like it's kind of a cultural thing too, especially in the US at least, where we really demonize, and it's very okay to make someone feel bad about under eating or be like that you have a disorder, there's something wrong with you. But then if someone is clearly overeating frequently, to say that they have a disorder, a lot of people would say that's mean to say, or that they have a problem, a lot of people would say that it's mean to say. And it seems like that's kind of what's going on with this new rule. I don't know. But again, I'm curious to see what ends up happening, because I do definitely think there is content on the internet that can be absolutely glorifying under eating and absolutely glorifying those restrictive EDs. And so, putting a stop to that, I think, is a good thing, because a lot of times the people that do fall prey to that are younger people that are just trying to find their way in life, and they're very vulnerable, and it's very easy for them to fall victim to stuff like this. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Have you seen any of these like signs or like the little like notifications or anything like that? Let me know. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.